We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin. And today, faithful acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is from Fiji Fire, it is the native Bongo chili hot sauce. Now this uses the native Bongo, or the Fiji Bongo pepper, depending on how you want to call it. And shake it but don't break it. How, I don't, what? Whatever. All right, so as I mentioned in the review, the written review, which is available in the description down below, this is the, so we have the Fijian Firewalkers of Burgo? Bakwa? I don't know. One of the islands, the Fiji Bongo chili, and they've got in there some lava? Is that what that says? Oh, viti levu, turmeric, and sea salt. So everything supposedly is from the Fiji Islands. It's all made there. So we've got chilies, which is, of course, the bongo, the carrots, turmeric, and salt. Turmeric is an interesting thing to put in here. And a little clotting there. So this is, I've seen it called a variation on a habanero, or at least strongly related to habanero. You can see it is very thick, very pulpy. Certainly full of all that. It looks almost like a very watery pureed carrot here. Nice and orange, a little flecks in there. It's a good looking sauce. Solid. It's solid. I have no problem with this, with how this looks. Let's get into the taste. Right away, get a taste of the carrots. Nope, sorry. Actually, you get a taste of a sort of bittery pepper, followed immediately by the carrots. And it's a fairly mild heat. I mean, habanero is probably about right. What I said in the written review was you had some of the aspects, flavor aspects of a super hot, without the corresponding flavor, and I still think that's about right. It is a little bit more bitter than habanero tends to be, but it's balanced really nicely with carrots. I'm not picking up a lot of turmeric. I think that's getting kind of lost here, but maybe it's just a subtle sort of overall type of flavoring rather than meaning to stand out in any way. There is there's a bit of the turmeric aspect I can pick out. It's just not as prominent as the other flavors. So very nice. There's no real sweetness to this, but I do like what they've done here. This is a pretty solid sauce. It is definitely more on the bitter savory side. So I could not find anywhere around serving Fijian food where I could just go get it, because that's my inclination. So instead I went to the different islands, and I got basically a Hawaiian plate here. White rice. There's cabbage in here somewhere. I think it's underneath this pork, which is a kalua pork. So what we're going to do is, I think first we're going to try it by itself, just here on some rice and on the pork. So let's do that first. I got to make sure I have enough of this to put on wings, of course. A little fat chunk there. I don't like those. They didn't clean this very well. When I say very well, I mean like it all. It's solid. It's solid here. We've got. Let's give it a go here on this rice. Interesting, but not that good. All right, so let's throw some of this on here. Keeping in mind I've got to preserve some so I can at least have it on wings once. This will be in the Q3 wing thing. So definitely, and of course I wouldn't have known, as I mentioned in the review, I wouldn't have known about this without the hot ones. Alright, so we got some teriyaki sauce here. I tried it solo. I am gonna pour the sauce here. And I like this particular company's teriyaki sauce. You may, depending on where you are in the United States, you may have one of these near you, you may not. It's a place called Mobetta's. And I don't do this a lot. I don't eat fast food and this type of thing very often. This plate you see in front of you is 15 bucks. Restaurants are getting out of hand. That's what they're doing. Alright, so alright, let's just get into this. That goes together so well with that teriyaki. Definitely like it better with the pork than with the rice. And I don't mean to give offense to any Fijians out there. I don't know anything about Fijian food. Maybe it's not close to Hawaiian. But this sauce works really well here. It's really interesting. The sauce is really good, but not as, it doesn't work as well as it does on chicken strips. Yeah, riddle me that, Batman, right? It's excellent, though. I don't mind this at all. Very low heat, though. And I think the season it was on, it was maybe the second or third sauce. And usually that show will front load the less hot sauces near the front. Definitely this works better with teriyaki though. Their teriyaki is a really good sauce. They also have a katsu sauce, but I don't like that sauce very much. I wish now I would have gotten some katsu though, along with this pork. But it's been a while since I've had some Hawaiian pork. I was due. Yeah, sometimes you gotta scratch that itch, right? See if I can wring a few more drops out of these cups. You know, and that's kind of where this sauce doesn't quite work as well here. Kalua pork tends to be really salty, and not having that sweet component here is... The sauce is okay by itself, just for this type of food, it definitely needed some sweet. Boy, very satisfying. That hit the spot. That was good. All right, get out of here. All right, so what do we think here? I like this sauce. I do. I think it's a... I wish it was a little sweeter. I will say that. I do wish it was sweeter. But I really like playing around with this sauce. And you can see I've done a lot of playing around with it. Another one that I think is one of the better sauces on that show is this one right here. And what's interesting is that it reminds me of super hot just without the heat, but it also reminds me of a carrot habanero sauce at the same time as it doesn't remind me of that, if that makes any sense. And by that I mean that the habanero carrot sauce is tended a lot more towards the sweet. This one is definitely tending a lot more towards the savory and or bitter. And that might be a little bit of the influence of the turmeric in there. Very, very nice sauce overall. I think it works pretty decently with a large number of foods, but it tends to impart, I guess, a little more heat than it does flavor. And had they sweetened it a little bit, I think this would have been... I think they really would have had something there, but... Again, I know nothing about Fijian food, so maybe this is just what the doctor ordered for a lot of that cuisine. I don't really know, but definitely it's a very nice sauce. And, you know, for as unimpressed as I often am with the hot ones, finding stuff like this is definitely one of the gold mines, I guess, of that show. Just introduction to peppers you might not otherwise know about. I've been doing this, being a chili head, for over a decade, well over a decade, and I had not heard of it prior to the sauce. Now, I've not heard of every single pepper in the world or anything like that. I'm not deep in it like that, but I am sort of following the super hots to see kind of where there might be some peppers out there I haven't tried. I want to try to fit them in if I possibly can, or if I have an opportunity. And this one, I can tell you 100% would have passed me by completely were it not for that show. So kudos to whoever came up with that sauce on the show, whatever season that was. That's available in the description below as well. So good job there. But yeah, it's a very nice sauce. If you come across this one, well worth picking it up, particularly if you like carrots in your sauce. But there it is, the Fiji Fire Native Bongo hot sauce. Now go forth in peace. Serve the flame.